We call Thursday, June 5th, 2025 Finance Committee meeting. I call this meeting to order. Motion to adopt the agenda. Second. Motion been made and seconded. Hearing no opposition, that motion passes. Approval of the minutes of May 6, 2023 Finance Committee meeting. Motion been made and seconded. Any opposition? Hearing none, that motion passes. New business. Compensation, is that a different conversation? Different compensation.
All right, yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This differentiated compensation, this is something that monies that were provided by the State Department and the legislation, and it happened in 23-24. During the 23-24 school year, Monroe City School System did not utilize the money, did not utilize that funding. So it rolled over from 23-24 to 24-25. And the state, what you see in the package are guidelines that were set forth by the state, the allocation guidelines. And so in looking at it with HR, we looked at the different categories, the critical shortage areas, the highly affected teachers area, teacher leadership areas, and also economic disadvantage, hard to staff, and high need schools. And I just thought that the best way to do it was any teacher that qualified in any of those categories to maximize the use of it, was that we looked at spreading it out to every teacher that would be qualified in those areas. And that came to, I think it was 537 teachers, and that amount came to $786.84 per teacher. Now, when you see the difference, we could have looked at critical shortage areas, and that number would have been a small number. That would have been giving those few teachers a certain amount of money. Or we could have looked at the highly affected. There again, that would have been a small number of teachers, giving them larger amounts of money. But I thought the fair and equitable thing to do was look at maximizing our teachers that qualify. And so we're asking the board to adopt this so that we can pay accordingly, according to the guidelines that the state has set forth.
Any questions from the board? Discussion?
Yes, sir. So I was looking at your information. It didn't quite make it to your agenda that you put out today right here, but I did see it on the state website, school website. You're going to set up a special revenue account to track this in the general fund?
So there's a fund already set up for differentiated compensation. So it has its own fund that's considered a general fund account on the annual financial report that the State Department each year. So Fund 175 is the differentiated compensation fund, which revenue for both years currently sits.
Is this something that, who put this together? HR put this together?
We just looked at it across the board, yeah.
So it's all the criteria that's.
537 of the 650 teachers meet the criteria. 113 will not meet the criteria.
And again, that criteria was set forth by the department. We had nothing to do with that. Those guidelines were set forth.
And it puts us in compliance with.
Correct.
Mr. Moore, does that mean that, I was trying to read all of the information. The school board must approve the distribution of the funds prior to implementation of the plan? That's what you're doing
This is the
tonight?
plan, right. They have
So
to
this is
approve
the plan?
Yes, ma'am, so that we can utilize the funds by June 30th.
Right. And just for the record, the district received these funds last year,
And did not.
and the leadership there just did not implement them,
That's
did not go
correct.
forward.
That's correct.
So will we be able to implement all these funds this year?
That's what this
Yeah,
fund is for.
so there's no,
This is for 23-24 last year, and this year 24-25.
okay. And only certified teachers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. President. Madam President.
Mr. Superintendent, do you have any idea what the allotment will be next
No,
year?
ma'am.
Has it been decided? Do you know
No,
if
ma'am.
it's been decided?
No, ma'am. No, we will know, we will make it known once we, but I do understand from just hearing from our superintendent's group that they are anticipating bringing it back again next year.
Can I get a motion from the board?
I just want to look at we respect the differentiated compensation.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded to bring this item to the board, in no opposition, that motion passed. Okay,
Thank you.
April 2025 financial report.
Thank you. Our April, our financial report, our general fund, we'll start with our general fund. Our general fund revenue is approximately 1.7 million more than in April of 2024. As previously mentioned, object code 700 was the payment of the Lexington Playground sales shades and the Neville High School batting cage at that 106.88%. The total for the Neville High School batting cage was $159,980. The district did receive the final $52,500 reimbursement from the Louisiana Department of Treasury in April. And there is still an outstanding balance owed to the district in accordance with Neville Baseball Booster when they presented this to us from the beginning. But we have received a total amount of $105,000 from the Treasury. Again, that cost was $159,980.
So the booster owes the balance.
Yes.
What is that time on pay that?
We had a meeting several months ago with them, so we'll follow up. We were anticipating that would have been done in the earlier part of the year. That happened. Our sales tax revenue received in April 2025 for the February 2025 collection increased by 1.09% for a total of $28,000. Sales tax revenue has fluctuated, as you know, throughout, I've indicated each month, each board meeting throughout the 24-25 school year. The amount, I want everyone to listen closely to this, because I know board members, you will get these calls, and I would ask you to remind our employees, as we are, that the amount and distribution of the supplemental sales tax, and we call that 13th check, it will be determined when the April 2025 collections are received this month, sometime in June. As of today, we have not received that amount. So therefore, we cannot give a date or an amount of distribution. So I want to so I know you'll get those calls, you'll get those emails, and so to help the board and to help me and to help us, just please refrain and tell them we'll know when we know. And as soon as we know, because everyone, we want all of our employees and all of our Monroe City School family, but that is something we cannot move forward with that until we receive that April 2025 collections. And it should be sometime this month in June. 1998 sales tax revenue have an overall total increase of $2,000, which is 0.03% more than the prior year overall. 1994 sales tax revenue have an overall decrease of $122,000, which is 1.26% lower than the prior year. And as previously mentioned, the overall increase in the total amount of expenditures is due to MIS budget being funded through the 1994 Sales Tax Fund 12 only, instead of split with the 2001 Sales Tax Fund 90 as it had been in previous years. 2001 sales tax revenue have an overall decrease of $245,000, which is 1.2% less than the prior year. And as previously mentioned, object code 400, the category is significantly higher due to the security camera upgrade that we did throughout the system, which was $2.5 million, and the track repairs at all the high schools, which was $656,000. The budget amount for the security cameras upgrade is an object code 300. However, the purchase order and expenditures were coded to 400. A correction will be made for the end of the year budget revision once all payments are processed. The district is working to determine, obviously, the most efficient way to utilize district funding, local, state, and federal for the 25-26 school year in an effort to enable our students to obtain the highest academic performance possible. Legislative auditors, investigation of student activity fund accounts are still going and throughout our district at several of our schools. And that concludes our financial report for this year. If you have any questions, myself and Ms. Howard will entertain those from the board at this time.
Mr. Crosby?
Mr. Superintendent Moore, the general fund, our revenue budget was 70 million, and to date, we've collected 59. Now, will those are not sales tax monies that comes into the general fund, correct?
No, that's
That's
correct.
just, so as our expenses are 53 million as of 4/20, do you predict that we will have, will come in under our budget expenses, which were 73 million?
No, I cannot predict that right now. No, ma'am.
Well, we just have May and June, right? Our June 30th is our
And
closeout.
May and June are months that we have heavy things that come in the end of the year.
Okay,
Ms. Palmer?
In addition to that, in June, you have the salaries for our 9, 10, and 11-month employees, who receive a check in July and August, but it's posted in the month of June. So, June's expenditures are normally more than any other month throughout the, fiscal year. So it's very difficult to, anticipate what that total dollar amount will be at this point.
okay. What about the 2001 sales tax? We budgeted 19 million and we've gotten 12 million to date, spent 14 million. Do we think that we had budgeted 22 million for expenses? Do you think that that will come in under?
Again, June expenditures on all funds usually include checks that are written in the, preceding months of, well, July, August, and sometimes September. So it's hard to see what the total amount of expenditure is going to be for June until we get closer.
Y'all do a forecast? for
You know,
We do a forecast, but you may have, if it's invoiced and the supplies are received or the services are performed by June 30th, they can still be paid in July and August. So it depends on the documentation.
What the delivery date is.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
but you do show the encumbrances, right?
They are listed on.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Are you gonna do title funds, federal funds?
There are no updates from our previous board meeting, previous finance meeting.
All right, motion is made and second, and poll. Here now, we close for the day
Oh,
until 6.
no
Thank you.
questions? or federal funds? You have none?